Good morning, my name is Hilde and I work for the Flemish Federation of Bus and Coach Companies. I live in Bruges. This morning I left at I think 20 past 8 and arrived here at 20 past 10. 2 hours, great, sunny, fantastic. It took me 2 hours. That's great for Belgium. Last month I had a lot of experience with traveling around, going by train, by car, ending up in traffic jams, taking me 3 hours to get to Brussels. And it's based on this, not horrific, but anyway, frustrations that we came to the idea of an office on wheels. So we had that project launched with 2 companies together, the Flemish Institute of Mobility and our Bus Federation. We started this back in September 2015. I will shortly note it, so it's a bus where you can work. It's perfectly, you step into the bus, you start working, you arrive at your company. This project is supported by the Flemish government. At this moment we developed a prototype of this bus. What did we do up to this moment? We started a user group with bus companies and a bus constructor, different companies, larger companies, HR managers, and we kind of developed that prototype office on wheels. We also had, in order to get to that prototype, we had functional analysis, we had lots of workshops. We started to look for companies interested in doing that demo phase or kind of prototype phase in order to fine-tune our business model and our prototype bus. What is the goal of our office on wheels is getting to change the mindset of employers that the moment you travel, the moment you arrive is seen as travel time and not as working time. Why do I say that? Because the moment you enter the bus, you start working. Everything is foreseen to work. And at this moment it's kind of accepted by a couple of companies already. Another goal of it is of course gaining time, having more work-life balance. In Belgium it's quite easy to get people on a job, but it's more difficult to have people for 4 or 5 years in a job, mainly in the big companies or big cities where you don't find that many people who want to take 2 to 3 hours a day for the commuting time. Of course, a third and very important goal is the reduction of emissions and the endless traffic jams we have over here in Belgium. The function and technical analysis which we did with an expert agency, there we really asked people, both employers and employees, what do you need in your working environment? So for us it was in a bus. Quite simple things. What do you want? I want a coffee, I want to be able to print, I want to have connection during my travel time. Quite easy things. On the functional and technical analysis, who did we target it to? HR managers? Are they accepting that people will get into a bus and see it as travel time? Fleet managers? Can the bus be not in competition with the company car? And also of course the fleet managers. Another target audience is the users. Who can use an office on wheels? Not everybody can use it. It needs to be someone who works. We are looking at white collars because you need to work with a computer in the bus, or calling is also possible, but you are limited to really not to blue collars but to white collars. In order to make our office on wheels profitable, we had to look at what is able between going the way to your work and the way back to the work. What can you do in between these hours? Because you can't afford buying a bus and let it stand there for 7-8 hours before it gets back to you. So there we were looking for secondary users. It could be the company itself. The company can use the bus as another meeting room, or as a way to traffic or to transfer between two companies. We did a survey with, where 170 employers did answer it, and 100 employees. The location of companies was strangely not in the center, not that strange, because in the center it's easy. You have the public transport, there you don't need an office on wheels, because it will take you more time to get there, and you also have the traffic. So there it makes no sense. It's more based in industrial zones where you don't have the public transport, where you have a lot of cars, where you have a lot of traffic jams. The use of the car, we found out that in fact more than half of the people only use their car to go to their job, and there the car stands for 7-8 hours before they go back. So in fact the car is standing there doing nothing. The presence in the office, almost 95% of the people are working 3 to 5 days in Belgium, I need to stay. 3 to 5 days in the office, so they are really present in the office. They work 1-2 days a week at home or on travel, but they work a lot in the office. We asked the people how many times you do use Office on Wheels. They told us more than half of people would use the bus 3 to 5 days a week, which is a quite big success. About the environmental impact. Office on Wheels, the bus, uses 24 liters per 100 kilometers. We calculated about 20, it can replace 20 cars. We say 20, there's place in the bus for 30 people, but not all the people will take the car. Some of them took the public transport, so that's the reason why we took the number 20. That means that with the bus, we reduce fuel consumption with 96 liters per 100 kilometers. You can state now, like Lieslot said, the electric buses at this moment is not affordable yet for us. The cost is far too high to use an electric bus, and we are suffering with the limitations of the distance at this moment. But it's something to be looked at the future. The impact on the traffic, very important for Belgium. With this one bus, we put 20 cars less in traffic, which is of course not a really big number at this moment, 120 meters, it doesn't state anything. But if we are looking at a couple of hundreds or even thousands Office on Wheels, it's a big difference. Again, what is positive for both employees and employers? Now they take 1 hour and a half to get to their job. Now it takes them 5 minutes to get into the bus and start working. It also has a very large impact on the work-life balance. You come home, you're relaxed because you did work, you're relaxed, you're not in a traffic jam. If it takes you 2 hours to get to your work, doesn't matter, you're working. We are now at the test phase. That's the reason why there are no pictures at this moment. We had a press conference yesterday, and before we had an embargo on the photos, and that's the reason why there are no pictures. So we started last week. We started the test phase with a company, a very big company, one of the largest employers of Belgium, Colruyt. They have about 125 a day who take the bus from Gentbrugge to Halle and back to Gentbrugge. At this moment they start their work at 7:30. The bus picks them up and they can come back at 5. That was done based on a survey with the employees. That's a very long time, of course, that's far too long at this moment. So no, we are really in a proto phase. We are fine-tuning what would be the best way. So now we already decided that from next week on, the bus will go back to Gentbrugge at 4 o'clock. So they already gain 1 hour. But it's really a participation with different partners. All partners work together to fine-tune what can we do to make that bus a success. The secondary user is also very important for us. Colruyt will use the bus as a meeting room, as I said, and it will also use it for the travel between the two. They have, I think, about 7 different locations, and they will travel between the companies or the divisions. The secondary using now is a kind of training course now. 2 times a week it will be used by a trainer going to doctors. Normally they rent a meeting room. There they say a lot of surgeons cannot come. They don't have the time to spend the time to go to far location. So now what do we do with the bus? We go to them. They save a lot of time. They save a lot of fuel, which wasn't even included in the calculation I made. So you save again a lot of fuel. We are looking now also for new users. We are looking for companies. We are having now another exploitation agency trying to find out where in Belgium are those industrial zones where we find enough people, because you need, I think, about 250 people to have a bus filled every day a week, because not all persons are working every day a week. So this gives you already an idea. So the bus has 30 places at this moment. It's built up, normal places. At the end of the bus you have 8 places where you can have kind of meeting room. That was done on purpose. That was done for the trainer, for the training location. You have 2 screens where you can have also for the training room. You have a coffee machine, which was very important. You have a printer. Everybody has a table, so they can work perfectly. Everybody has connection, so you can plug in, and that makes it very interesting. We had a lot of interviews already. People are really satisfied with the service they have. They say, otherwise it took me a lot of problems to get and do my job. No, it doesn't matter. If we are 2 minutes later, or if we are 30 minutes later, we could work. And that was the most important thing. Now we work with one company. It's the goal to work with different companies, but there we still need to find out how we can do this. I will show you a picture of the vehicle. And as I said, it has been presented to the press yesterday, and it got quite a lot of attention. So you have the tables where you can work. Everybody has the connection. There's the printer, and there are the 2 screens, and which was very important, the coffee machine. Yeah, that was very important. So we are now really fine-tuning based on the information, all the feedback we now receive, what we can do to optimize this prototype. We will, as a federation, we will publish all the information we have to the different bus constructors and to the different bus car companies, because the whole idea is that now the federation and the Flemish Institute of Mobility are working together, but what we do is not really, we will now make a business case, but we will not do the business. The business will be between companies, the car companies, and between the big companies. Maybe we'll still moderate and find an app or something, but the real idea is that it's funded by the employer, and the car company is buying the prototype, the first version or second version. We also have the idea to have it more personalized if possible, if needed. What our idea now is, we will make one version, say this is the basic version, this is what you can get now. If you want to have it changed, if you want more options, then we will refer them to the bus company. So this is the idea we have now, and we will work out, and I think you will hear more of it, I think by the end of December or beginning of March. That was it.